I want to talk about one of the other big trades to occur. It was essentially with the Toronto Maple Leafs bitter rival, the Boston Bruins. And the Boston Bruins did two moves. One, which I think is a sneaky good move, which was getting Riley Smith for a third in 2022. And I think Riley Smith is a very functional defenseman. So that's a hell of a move there. But the other one, which I think was really good, was they got Taylor Hall and Curtis Lazar for a second-round pick and Andres Bjork. And when that happened, I think everyone fan-wise was really shocked by that haul, that Buffalo was only able to get so much for Taylor Hall. And I don't know that the media or the actual hockey world itself was as surprised. But where are you guys standing on this? Are we surprised that Taylor Hall went for so little? Or is this a reputation thing? Or is no movement clause? Like, what do we think happened here in this situation?
Well, Holly Molly, they got a good play on the left wing. Hopefully he can bring it back. Sorry, I just wanted to say Hall in a Boston accent. I don't know.
Hopefully there's no one from Boston listening.
Yeah.
Given our numbers, I doubt
we could take it to the parking lot. Anyways, I don't think Hall is done producing at the level that Hall, like we expect him to produce at. You surround him by players that know how to win, such as, Marchand, Bergeron. I'm interested to see how he does and how he fits into the mix in Boston. Who knows? Like, it's been a tough, hard career for Taylor Hall. He couldn't win in Edmonton, right? It was the curse of the first rounds. Then he goes to New Jersey, gets traded for Larson, right? Again, they make the playoffs 1 year. He actually does pretty good in the first round, but they're eliminated. Again, the following year, they get a first-round draft pick. Then he goes to Arizona. They make the playoffs, right? They make
qualifying, I think, wasn't it?
Qualifying, yeah.
Qualifying, right? So barely. And then he goes to Buffalo. And oh, God. Like, that trash fire was horrible. Like, honestly, you looked at that team. I looked at that team at the beginning of the year, and I was like, man, this team's going to be exciting to watch. Mm-hmm. They are. They've got depth. They got Hall there on the left wing with Jack Eichel. I was like, and Reinhardt on you've got a solid first line. And then you've got Eric Stahl coming in. They made that acquisition. I thought they looked really good on paper. Boy, did they ever manage to take that piece of paper and put the flame to it, because it was awful. They set a franchise record. I think a league record in consecutive losses. Horrible. So I hope he finds it. I know he was quoted as saying, like, it's going to be fun to be on a winning team. And, like, but who knows? Like, what happens if he signs in Boston next year? My prediction,
Boston's going to fall.
Yeah,
they're going to be last place and get the first overall pick.
I'd be so annoyed.
I doubt they'll be that bad, but I
do too.
They're in bad. They're in rough shape right now. Like, they're in fourth in their division. They have an
aging
core.
Just got stomped last night, 8-1.
Yeah.
But having trouble with DeBrusk. Like, DeBrusk isn't producing like he used to. I don't know what's going on there.
And he had COVID too. I thought he was one of the COVID guys.
Very well could have. Like that could be the X factor this year. Period. Is COVID and its effects on players and teams, right? We've seen it. There's no doubt in my mind. That's what's happened to Buffalo and why they were so god awful this year. COVID bit them in the butt, and you know what? They're just starting to win games. So maybe they're starting to feel better. But, like, I don't think that 2-week COVID recuperating time is realistic.
Mm-hmm.
When you were asking Baron about, were you surprised that Buffalo didn't get more? I was. Going into the trade deadline, I didn't think they would get a first. But then, Columbus got a first for Savard, and Columbus got a first for Foligno, and New Jersey got a first for Palmieri. And, these were players, well, except for maybe Palmieri, but, like, most of the players are guys I wouldn't really expect to get a first for. And so I thought, okay, this is the market. And so for sure, Taylor Hall is going to get a first, because out of all those players, Taylor Hall is the best player. Even this year, I mean, he was right on pace with, like, Palmieri and definitely ahead of Foligno. And David Savard's a defensive defenseman. So like I thought for sure they get a first round pick, and they ate salary, right? They ate 50%.
Yep. Yes.
So it wasn't the fact that they didn't eat salary either. They ate salary. So how do you not get a first round pick for a former Hart Trophy winner whose very least amount is a decent second line wiener production, right? And then if he turns his game around, he's bringing you point per game or more production.
Yeah,
that to me is crazy. And the fact that they did it so early, like why not wait an extra day and make them sweat and maybe try to get a little bit more out of Boston at the very least? Like, I heard because like the no movement clause, they were really limited as to which teams they could even talk to, and his salary cap, right? I mean, $8 million. That's hard to find teams that can fit $4 million onto their
Correct.
roster. But still, like at least wait to the very end and see if you can like even pick up like another pick out of it, like a third round pick or something. Like, holy cow! Like Buffalo, what's going on with you? Like just incompetence. This franchise is just a joke. Even Brandon Montour, to be honest, he plays over 20 minutes a game. He's better offensively and drives possession more than Savard does. Why isn't he getting a first round pick? And what did they get for him? A third round pick?
I think it was
Buffalo
a third.
Is a joke.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Bennett got more than Taylor Hall.
Just like you're gonna kill the lead in. You're just like, I got a good lead into this one. There's Sanjay stabbing it. Like, so the next
this episode's been hilarious. This episode's been hilarious. I just watched Baron and he's like,
no, my transitions, no.
But essentially, like as Sanjay ruined, Sam Bennett, who was a former fourth overall pick, goes to the Florida Panthers for him and a 6th round pick for Emil Heineman and a 2022 2nd round pick. That's a better return than what the Buffalo Sabres got for Taylor Hall. Go ahead, Sanjay. Say what you're going to say. Get it out there.
No, I'm just saying, like, Taylor Hall. Yeah, I mean, the thing that always amazes me was people say, like, oh, we're not going to give up our first round this year. If you think you're close to winning the Stanley Cup this year, this draft is so unpredictable. There's been so few games in the WHL. The OHL didn't even have a season. So if you get a late first-round pick, who cares? If you can win a couple rounds in the playoffs, just give it up for this guy. I mean, as you mentioned, he won the Hart Trophy not that long ago. He's having a down season, but everyone's having a down season in Buffalo. Once you get him out of there, I guarantee he's going to produce more than when he was in Buffalo. So the fact that people are like, oh, I'm not giving up a first, it's like, you have no idea what this draft is going to entail. Like, this is like a draft like no other draft, where guys that would normally go in the top 10 are going to be going in the 2nd, 3rd round. So if you get a late first rounder, it's a crapshoot. This is more of a crapshoot than any other year. So I think people should have factored that in when they were assessing, first round pick. It was like, not all first round picks are built equally. And in my opinion, this draft is a soft draft. And if I was a team that was on the cusp and I thought, hey, I have a shot to win the Stanley Cup, you can have my first round pick because it's going to be number 31 overall. So, or number 32 next year. So why not? So I don't know.
I think that's like an easy comment to make, but I think if you look at scouting, like really look at scouting, you're not scouting a guy based on his final year. You have scouted him for previous years and so forth. So I still think guys have players that they're interested, or teams have players that they're interested in. And then at the draft, you can be more willing to be like, our guy's going to go in the 2nd round. I'll trade away this 1st round pick for 2 2nd round picks, and I can get these 2 players I like. And I think that's the kind of difference. But where I think you're right is if you think you have a chance, well, if you can win, why wouldn't you? And that's kind of the tough one.